so we're in Huntington Beach. We're going to be carrying all this dirt out right here, all the way around. Those are right there. See the wall we got to do?
Yeah, he was asking if we could add it to it, but I told him we have to get it.
I'm not telling you for sure.
It's not going to be easy to find. And
We're just bored, right?
he wants to reinforce his hand a little bit. I told him we can match the top, put a horizontal bar.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah, that'll work. This is Kevin. How'd you find me, Kevin, on YouTube?
Yeah, I saw your videos on YouTube.
This is the house I did the floating steps and stuff. Let's go check it out. They're not my crew or my company. That's what people on YouTube are saying. Whose is it? Is it yours?
No, it's not mine. You showed up and you bid the job and you brought the crew out. This is your guys here.
I designed it.
You designed.
When he stuccos this wall, it's going to be all smooth trout stuccoed. And then this is the whole entry I did. Hey,
Move your ass.
oh, there's a ramp right over there I can get on. You guys want to put the cones along the back?
Yeah, I'll do it. I get it.
So we'll just take it out. We're going to pump it. This is probably about 30 minutes. This is one right here. We're dropping. So where? Right here? Go right here? Three block down?
3 blocks down, yeah.
Right here? Okay. And then that spot over there, do they know?
Yeah, it's out here.
Hey, Anthony here. Thanks for tuning in to The Best in the West, another video. I don't know about you guys, but I love these little jobs like this. This is a planter along the wall. As we said earlier, this is where I did the floating steps and the wall and stuff. I'm going to be doing the whole backyard, another concrete bench, so you'll see another classic bench. I'm going to do a little different style in a couple of months here. It's been raining unseasonably here a lot, so work's been really... You can't tell if it's economy or if it's just slowing down or what. It's hard to say. And I brought my S70 because I'm going to pull it on the sidewalk. You can't really dig it out with it. I'm going to let them just shovel it into my bucket, and then I put the trailer right on the curb. I'm just going to stay up on the sidewalk for the most part, load it up. And people starting out, if you're doing residential and concrete, the first thing I would buy is one of these S70s. This is the most versatile machine. It doesn't matter the area, how tight it is, if it's in a backyard. You won't be hand demoing. And they got really good hammers for these little minis, too, that you've seen in my videos if you've watched them any time, that you can mow through anything, footings, whatever, foundations. I demo pools with these. In Orange County and other areas, there's a lot more lot space, and you can get other equipment in the backyard. But in Orange County and Southern California, the land is so valuable that there's not much. There's no empty spaces, so everything's tight. It's built like on top of stuff. I'm about maybe 5-6 blocks from the ocean right here. So this 70 here, we're just going to dig it out by hand like that and then clean up. And I got the truck on will call. Lately, I've been doing these littler ones in one day. I come out, dig it up. I will call the truck. I'm about an hour and a half away from being ready. I call it in. And I brought my other truck to bring the pump. So I have the pump and the trailer so I don't have to leave and go get my pump like I do. I got sick of doing it, so now I just bring them both at once. Before I would pour it the next day, but now I'm doing them all at once. I just did a commercial one too. I'll be posting this weekend that I just dug it all out with this little 70. It was in a tight area. What time do you think on the concrete? 10 or sure? Yeah. I gotta go get the rebar. I'll just tell them 10:30 at 2%. It's only 8 now, yeah. Okay, then we gotta clean up. Pull the pump out. I gotta hook the pump up. I gotta hook the pump to my truck. So that's the way I've been doing it. I've just been knocking them out. I got a bunch of videos. I just got to edit them up and get them up on here. And to have the right equipment doing concrete is so vital. If you're jackhammering concrete by hand or wheelbarrowing concrete, you don't really have a business. I mean, if you can make money, whatever, but how long are you going to sustain that? You have to invest. There's one of my other pump trucks. That's the original, one of the West Coast pumping trucks. I had 3 of those exact same trucks. That's the last one. I got rid of the other 2. I had my buddy pull the pump over. And so many people have started pumping in like Kentucky, Louisiana, from watching me in New York. People I've consulted and they bought pumps and they won't let them use a washout hook. But in Orange County, if you didn't have a washout hook to pump it back into the truck, the pump would be worthless because there's nowhere to wash it out. I guess in other states you could time it and then get it down close and then wash it where it's just the concrete in the hose. I used to do it that way on those short load trucks because you can't wash back out in them. So I would time it and then I would just wash the water. You can do it that way, but on a regular basis over here, it won't work because a lot of these houses are multi-million-dollar houses and they're landscaped really nice. You can't really blow concrete around. You could dig a hole probably, but a pump's vital to have. That's one of the only way you can place concrete. Like this little thing, you could wheel it or whatever. It's 5 yards, and then I got to fill that wall up. So, I mean, it took us about 15 minutes to pump it down and fill the wall up. No one's dirty. So here we go. We got it dug out. It took about 45 minutes. We got 5 yards coming. We're going to grout that wall up there. It was hollow, and then we're going to fill this up. There's the S70. There's the dirt. That's how much we dug out. Just a little planter. So yeah, that's what we're doing. A lot of states, like people calling me and stuff, they're trying to pump pea gravel in other states in the Midwest and the South and the East, and it's a 60-40 pea gravel mix, which out here we use a 70 sand, 30% rock. If you're doing an exposed aggregate with a Rugasol or top cast, I'll use a 60-40. I pumped it a lot, but if you're a beginner, I wouldn't really send somebody on that with a 2-inch line with a 60-40 mix. And pumping it real dry, it'll separate on you. And if you put too much rock in it, if you have it too wet and you stop and it's vibrating, it's going to vibrate all the rock down into your manifold. But starting out, I mean, an S70, a hammer, a dump trailer, and you're off to the races. Because you could even use the bucket if you had to, till you got a pump, and do it that way too. Anything you can do that's not manual there's tools for it, and it's a good investment. And it always holds its value these days because so many people want it. I think there's a 18-month waiting list at Bobcat on an S70. A lot of other states don't use them, but I'm going to take a pool out with it in the next couple of weeks. I might video it. I don't usually video other people's contractors' jobs I demo for. And that's how it's done. There's a floating step entryway right there. The wall. All the way from New York, Brandon. So yeah, I don't usually the pumping jobs I do for other people and demos I don't really video, but I'm going to show a pool with this F70, how I crawl down in it, and I'll take the shell out. Another thing I want to talk about real quick, a lot of people don't know their worth and they're undercutting because times are getting tight out here in the West Coast. And I wouldn't bid a sunken living room the other day, and the guys found me off YouTube, so I'm talking to him. I tell him $7,000. Of course, he gives me the job. We're BSing for like 20, 30 minutes. And then it comes up. He said, 2 other guys bid this. And I'm like, how much did they bid it at? Of course, I'm going to ask if the guy's going to give it up. And he said, one guy was same price as you, $7,000. And another guy was $3,500. And I go, $3,500? That doesn't sound right. And he goes, yeah, he was a lowballer. Didn't sound right. So I said, where did you find the guy? And he said, off YouTube. And I said, really? And I said his name, and he goes, yeah, that was him. So the guy's out there cutting people's throats, half price of everybody else to put videos up and not making money. It's just like a scab. I couldn't believe it. And then I said, let me see the email. So the guy showed me the email, and then he forwarded it to me. So I have the email with the $3,500 bid if anyone wants to call me out on it. I was blown away by it. There's a pump, West Coast setup. Makes it real easy. It doesn't splash on the wall like wheeling it. You don't got to put plastic. I mean, they're going to re-stucco that, I'm sure, but what if they weren't? You can just lay it in. So sweet, especially with a ball valve, and you get the rhythm of the pump, and you learn how to run it. These guys in other states that are buying them are making a killing. with them over there because they're the only guys in town, and there's not pumps within 2-3 hours. Here's Brunt Boots. Sent my daughter and I a pair of boots, and I try and stay transparent. I don't show like shavers and people want me to do all this stuff. I only do stuff that pertains to concrete, like breakers. These boots are awesome. The guy sent me a pair out. I want to give a shout out to Brunt. I'll put the link in the description. I think they're $139. Those are the soft toe, and they're wide. There it is there, Brunt. Guy makes a nice boot. So I'll put it in the description. He's on Instagram too. If you guys want to order a pair, I'll put one down in the description. They have the slip-on. They have the higher ones. He's got other apparel, hats. I'm not sure if he has jackets, but I want to thank him for sending them out. Now it's time to get down the trucks here. This is where I come in. Placing concrete and demoing the concrete is probably 80-85% of the job. That's where most of the money's at. So if you have equipment and you don't have to farm it out and you're smart enough to buy the stuff and you know what to charge, you can afford to buy what you need. That's why these people out here, why don't you have equipment? Now I know why. I've seen their bids. It's like, what a moron. I can't believe people are coming in half price. So, and 2 out of 3 had the exact same price. The other guy was half. You know, he doesn't own a pump. He doesn't own a Bobcat. He's just a laborer. I get down. I'm a businessman. I know what to charge. I know what my worth is. And if they don't give me the job, it's no hard feelings. It just wasn't for me, you know. Whatever you get, God's going to give you what you're going to get, and that's what you get. You just go all out. There's going to be collateral damage and mess ups and different stuff. You can't take it too serious, you know. That's some extra rebar I had at my yard I brought for that wall because we cut the bond beam to give it some strength when we fill it up. So I just threw it in there. I don't want to take it back to the yard. It's not doing anything, but I just didn't want rusty rebar at my yard, so I just threw it in the slab. I didn't tie it or nothing. It doesn't do anything if you don't tie it. So we got Milton Jr. here. Good thing about him is he's flying. He's been finishing for me for 2.5 years. He never finished concrete before, and this dude, Javier, is such a good teacher. He's the one who showed him everything. He's damn good now. He's better than anyone you'll see on YouTube. He's only been doing it 2.5 years. I show him a lot. In the next commercial one, he mainly finishes, kills it out a lot of it by himself. His joints are straight. He gotten so much better. But he goes out, when he's not with me, he goes out 5-6 days a week with his dad and finishing groups and stuff. That's Milton Jr. You guys seen his dad and him a lot. So I got Javier, Milton, and then 2 laborers who dug it out, and then Milton and Javier finish it. Mainly Milton. Javier just brooms it. But know your worth, like I was saying, and don't undercut half price of everyone else, especially out here. I mean, I calced it out. It was like $7.80 a square foot in Southern California with the inflation and the prices and diesel, and I just shook my head like, you got to be kidding me. And the homeowner said, yeah, there wasn't something wrong with that guy. I mean, so that's what people think. When they see me and they see him or other people on YouTube, they know they're going to pay if I come out. You know, they know that they're going to get a high. People who think concrete's concrete, then hire him. You know, you can get a saw cut up the middle. I mean, a joint and then saw cuts around it. You know, and I timed it where I had enough concrete to finish this flat work dry, and then I added the water when I go up on the wall, so it just flows in there. There's Brandon Borick. I met him on YouTube about 3 years ago. He's from New York. He actually was in Laguna Hills when he called me, or Laguna Hills, when I was doing the Stairway to Heaven, and he came out. He's trying to get a pump in New York, and he's really down on the pump. He's trying to work it out where he can get one, and the mix is right, and he could go out there. So he always grabs the hose when he comes out. He has a concrete gig in New York with an excavator, Bobcat. He does stamping, everything. He's flexing on us. So he always grabs the hose. He likes to pump. But once he gets a pump, I'll teach him how to do it inside and out. And he'll do just fine, like Blue Lizard and Trey in Kentucky and these other guys I've showed and helped out. They'll get it down, and those guys are killing it. So if you want consulting for pumping, demo, over the phone, whatever, just give me a call, or equipment. I'll tell you what it's worth. I'll take a look at it if you're going to buy a pump prior to buying it. Whatever you need, call the best in the West. So we threw Javier up on the wall and just knocked that out, filled up I think we went 3 or 4 blocks where whoever owned the house prior added it, but they didn't fill it with concrete, so it was hollow. But below was hollow. I think the original 6 feet, they filled it. So we got Milton floating this out. This is a 3,000 straight cement, no fly ash, and 2% Polar Set. I could have used calcium in it, CC in it, but Polar Set's a way better product, so I just use it. It's more expensive, but that's just what I use. There's my boy Matt delivering the mud. I use the same people, same finishers, same concrete. I pump it, I demo it, and it gets a tight knitting, sequence when the same people. You know how they operate. Random people. When I used to pump randomly every day and different drivers would come up, man, sometimes it was just, I'd come out and they'd overflow my pump. There's concrete all over the ground. You never know what you're going to get. But when you work with professionals and you're professional, stuff can still happen, but generally you're home free and, you've seen it if something does go wrong and you could fix it real quick. And there it is. I just fill up about 3 hoppers of water. It's about 90 gallons of water we wash out. And like I said, in other states, they won't let them wash back into the truck, which they got to go rinse their drum anyway. So I don't understand what the big deal is. But maybe they have more open areas where they could wash it out on the job. But here you can't do that. I've done it. But really, you don't want to ever have to do that. I've gotten stuck with a load waiting for the next truck with my hopper full, and I had to blow it down in the slab, and I just moved the water to the side and shot the water in a bush. It's happened a couple of times. It can happen. So we're going to be jointing this up. These little ones I'll take all day long. I absolutely love these. I don't know how everyone else feels. They generally think bigger is better, but it's not necessarily it. I did this one and another little one and netted 10 grand that week, so... that's after everything. So, I'll do these all day long. And I bring enough people to take everything. No one works that hard. I price it right. I bring enough guys out to do the job adequately in a timely manner. I know how long it'll take with how many guys I got. 5 yards, fiber, what's that name say?
West Coast.
Oh, $13.85. It looks like Loverboy gets a $15 tip.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Why not have change? Take it. I love change.
West Coast.
I think that says West Coast.
Oh, who pays the bills on his jobs? I thought they weren't his jobs.
I thought these weren't your jobs, I heard.
No, I just sell them all.
I thought those weren't his jobs. What do you think? Oh, he's got a sign.
Sound like a doctor.
I am a doctor.
I thought those weren't his jobs. We're on the West Coast. City Stars.
So it's starting to tighten up on us now. That was not clay. This area's got a lot of clay in it where this house is because I've dug in a lot of these, imported in a lot of these neighborhoods. But that was like potting soil almost. Not really, but it was really good soil. So I didn't pay a dump fee. I just took it to my yard and spun it, dumped it, and my buddy used one of my tractors I had over there and spun it out in the yard. I got an S250 with an 800-pound breaker. Then I have the case and the 500-pound Susan, and then I have the Mini with the 350-pound Susan. So ultimately, the goal would be to get every size tractor for bigger commercial or big 300-400 yard dirt removals. That's why I had the S250, but I never pull it out because I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. I do residential. But ultimately, you'd want to have a Mini, a medium, and then a bigger one. Here I am. I pay everyone daily, but we're done that day, so I paid him up. And now he's putting a broom on it. I do stuff that, like a stuntman, most people don't. I actually zoom up on my work. And I want you to see it. I show the driveway and the floating steps. They're probably, 4 or 5 months old. And not a hairline on the steps, no cracks in the driveway, nothing. The way we lay it down, it's tight. The timing has a lot to do with it. Not trapping the water with a steel trowel, letting it bleed right. If you do it right, and you take the fly ash out, it'll bleach out, and you'll rarely get hairline cracks. And if you're, sometimes it's random, and mainly it's off a corner. So if you put a joint off a corner each way, you're probably going to be pretty good. It's probably going to crack inside of it. But when you got an A-plus crew, A-plus equipment, operators, pump. You got to get a pump. There's just no way around it. I mean, anyone who tries to think that, it's like these stand-ons. They think I would make them look stupid if they came next to me on that S70. Go try and demo a pool with a stand-on. What does that tell you? It tells you how versatile a 70 is. If it can do stuff that the other equipment can't do, it's better. But you just got to be talented to run it because it's squirrely. And the balance point on it is you can tip it over pretty easily. I never have, but if you're used to a stand-on or you're not a real operator, you're going to have a hard time with it. You know, I got on one of those things for like 5 minutes, and those things are going to be outlawed. Those things are dangerous as hell. If you tried to demo a pool with all the rebar ab all over, you would get rebar up your ass. Or you'd flip it over and get decapitated. There's the, you need a roll cage around you is what I'm saying. There's a finished product, nice planter filled in. Filled the wall up, mission accomplished. I'll be posting another commercial job Saturday. And then I'll probably be doing a sunken living room and this backyard with the concrete bench. But I'm going to do a different style bench, I think. I'm going to sandblast the wood and then form it. There's a final job. There's a professional West Coast. Thanks for watching the Best in the West. Feel free to subscribe and give this channel the recognition it deserves. Thank you.